Welcome to the Breakup Recovery Podcasts by your host, Barbara Stevens. Discover the wisdom and remarkable insights of Barbara Stevens, breakup recovery mentor, author, and public speaker. Barbara offers programs and solutions for any breakup so you can turn your life around, create lasting changes for the better, and embrace life again.
Hello and welcome to Breakup Recovery Podcast. I'm Barbara Stevens and I'm a breakup recovery mentor. And this podcast is all about helping you recover from your breakup. This is episode number 100. Over the past month, I've been asking the listeners to email me or message me with any questions and comments you might have for me to cover in this special 100th episode of Breakup Recovery Podcast. I know those of you that listen to this podcast are going through the pain and anguish that a breakup, separation, or a divorce throws you. There are so many emotions that are going through your body, and you are possibly stuck and don't know how to move forward. That is why you are listening to this podcast or reading articles, blogs, and books to help you recover and start to feel normal again. I would like to thank those of you that have sent through your questions. There have been quite a few of them that have come through, and I'm going to cover the most popular ones in this episode. I hope to get to the others in future episodes. So if you find that I have not answered your most pressing question, please continue to listen to future episodes of Breakup Recovery Podcast, or maybe I've already covered it in a previous episode. So scroll down to the descriptions and see if you can find an episode that will answer your issues or help you to find the answers that matter to you. I have received questions within questions and have tried to pinpoint the most important query. The first question is, how do you stop loving someone so much and move on? Or even, how do you know it's over? How do you let go of hope that he could change his mind? How do you remind yourself that you are worth more? So many questions. Thank you so much. So this is quite a complex question and many questions within a question, and quite typical of the questions that I received. So how do you stop loving someone so much? I don't think it's easy to stop loving someone, especially if you've spent a lot of time with this person, or if you have been blindsided by the breakup. You never saw it coming. It can be difficult to one day stop loving that person you thought you were going to spend the rest of your life with. It's not that easy. I don't really think that anyone would expect you to stop loving that person. It is okay to keep loving them as long as your thoughts don't run away with you and you keep thinking that you are going to get back together with them, or that every thought is focused on the past and all the good times you had. Keeping those kind of one-sided thoughts, all the positives, the good times, all of the time is not a reality. It's not healthy and it will not help you to move forward. The fact is that you have broken up, and accepting this fact is what is going to help you recover from this breakup. It's happened, and acknowledge that your life is no longer the same. You are not a couple anymore, you are single, and there is a big adjustment, but it can be done. You can do it. I think you will find that over time your love will diminish. You will still have the memories of your time together, but as other people come into your life, as you experience new things, and your life goes in another direction, new thoughts take over, and these older ones take more of a back step. So I'll address the how do I move on question. And this question was the most popular, I'd have to say. I understand that every breakup is different and unique to the people who are experiencing it. There are so many different circumstances that result in a breakup of two people who thought that they would be in a relationship forever. However, this question, how do I move on, is universally asked by those that are going through a breakup. So don't feel that you are the only person questioning yourself about how you can move on after your relationship ends. So there can be a number of reasons that you feel that you are not moving on, or that you are not moving on the way you would like to. Usually these thoughts center around it may be taking too much time, and you feel that it is taking too long for you to move on after your breakup. In this episode, I'm going to mention a few of the most common reasons that may be keeping you from moving on. I will try and cover this question in some depth because it has been asked more than once. And the first reason stopping you from moving on is the blame game. Staying in the blame game will definitely stop you from moving on. So if this is you, if you are still blaming your ex for everything that is going on in your life, if you are accusing them of your unhappiness, if you think that they are solely responsible for this sadness and misery that you are feeling, then you are still in the blame game. If you are beating yourself up about the breakup, if you feel that you are the one that has caused all this heartache and sorrow, then you are still playing the blame game. You need to stop putting yourself through the ringer and having these thoughts weighing so heavily on you that you can no longer find any happiness in your life will not help you to move on. Blaming either your ex or yourself solely for the breakup is not a healthy habit. Putting the blame on the other person or taking the blame for the breakup is not going to help you to move on. In fact, continually thinking about the past and what has been said and what has been done will only keep you there in the past. And if you stay in the past, how can you plan and live in the future? If you keep your thoughts continually thinking about how bad things are, about how you are not coping, about all the fear and worry about your future and what it's going to look like, does that leave any room for you to plan for a positive and successful future? Does that leave any room for any happy thoughts? No, it doesn't. So stop blaming your ex or yourself for the breakup. It has happened. You can't go back in time and change anything that you said or did, or change what they have said or done. The best thing for you is to focus on the future and what you want. The next reason why you are not moving on could be forgiveness. When I'm talking about forgiveness, it's not a pardon or an exoneration of all the things that have happened in your relationship. Forgiveness is an internal acceptance, possibly accepting the apology that you were never given verbally. It's an acknowledgement of the wrongs that have happened, bundling them into a safe package and forgiving, not dwelling on the past and what has been said and done. If you don't at some stage forgive your ex, you will stay in that place of hurt and anger. And when you are in this place, it is impossible for you to move on. You may ask, how do you know that you have forgiven them? Well, the best way to work that out would be when you find that you are talking to someone about the ending of your relationship, and you find that you are not saying awful things about your ex, what they have said to you or what they have done that you found unacceptable. If you are having that conversation and you are not hurting, your heart is full of love, then you have forgiven them. When you find that any conversation about your ex does not have any anger or hurt associated with it, then you have forgiven your ex. The next reason I want to share that may be holding you back from moving on is isolation. Often after a breakup, we're wounded and often ashamed, wanting to hide our vulnerabilities from the rest of the world. Our self-esteem may have taken a blow, and further rejection is just too scary to risk. So we isolate ourselves. We don't take good care of ourselves. It seems safer to be at home away from prying eyes. We don't have to answer any questions. We can live our life on the couch watching TV or listening to music, reading a book, anything that keeps us from facing the outside world. But the longer you continue to do this, to isolate yourself, the harder it is for you to get out of this comfort zone. Your social anxieties grow. You lose contact with those that are close to you and want to offer their support. It can be scary to face the world again after a breakup. It can be difficult to put yourself out there. But we all need connections to make our lives whole. We need other people in our lives. So take the chance and reconnect with those who are there to support you, who love you and care about you. I could keep going on with lots of other reasons why you are not moving on after your breakup. As I have said at the beginning of this episode, because there are so many variables, so many differences for each breakup, it can be hard to cover all the reasons why you are finding it difficult to move on after your breakup. I guess that is why divorce and breakup coaches and mentors are excellent choices for you to help you to move on after your breakup. They will look at your particular situation and ascertain what's the best strategies and approaches you can take to help you to move on. So I would like you to consider getting professional help if you find that you are still struggling to move on and this is impacting on every aspect of your life. Another question that came through was, should I still follow them on social media? In most cases, I say no to still following your ex on all social media platforms to my clients when they ask me this very question, and this is why. If you are checking their Instagram page, Snapchat, their Twitter account, their Facebook status every hour, I want you to ask yourself this question. Why are you doing this? Are you looking for a sign that they are missing you? That their life is a mess, they are so unhappy they can't live without you? But is this a reality? Have you ever seen someone's post saying that they are feeling crappy? They are a mess emotionally. They just aren't coping. No, you never see that. So if you are looking at their social media status, you are never going to see your ex saying that they are not coping, that they are lonely, that they wish they were back with you. You are never going to get answers to unanswered questions. This is not a reality. On the other hand, what if you see their posts and they are having a great time, which, by the way, is what most people post about, other than what food they have been served or cute videos of children and animals? It's important to realize that the posts that you see only show one side of a story, and it is common to share only good stories on social media platforms. Posts that seem that people's lives are just great. They are doing exciting things. They are travelling. They are meeting up with friends and family. The food they are eating is a lot better than your toasted cheese sandwich you are having for dinner. So how is that going to make you feel when you see them out and about with their friends or even a new friend and they are smiling and using phrases that suggest that everything in their life is wonderful? Is this going to crush you? Is this going to make you feel even more hurt and miserable? Is this going to increase the sadness you are already feeling? So you have a few options here. You can unfriend them, you can unfollow them, you could block your ex from all your social media sites. This may seem harsh, but it will stop you from stalking them or even writing comments that you will later regret. It will stop the feelings of jealousy and resentment of the perceived life they are now living. Or another option is to lessen the frequency of the times that you check out their social media pages. Maybe start with only checking once a day, then every 2 days, then once a week, and lessen the frequency that way. But this tactic takes strength and determination to follow, and decrease the number of times you check their status. Do you think you have the mental strength to follow through with this decision? If you feel that you can lessen the number of times you look at their posts, I would like you to mentally prepare yourself for any of the posts that you look at and read. By saying that, make sure that you are fully aware that the posts and statuses and pictures will suggest that everything is okay in their lives, and try to have no opinion on them. Don't let them affect you in any way other than positives. Be happy that they are happy. You might have to stop following the feeds of mutual friends. How will it make you feel when you see posts of them all out together having fun without you? These posts could be just so painful for you to see, especially if you are a part of that group when you were with your ex and these people are no longer in your life. Having their social sites banned so you don't see their statuses, or unfriending your ex is like out of sight, out of mind. If you don't do this and you keep seeing everything that they are doing, it can keep you living in the past and thinking of all the things you used to do. You question your self-worth. You wonder about what could have been. It hurts you more than helps you to recover from your breakup. When you don't see their status or their pictures, then they will not be in your thoughts, and you will adapt to a life without them and transition into a single life. On the subject of social media, I would also like to mention about the sorts of posts that you put out on your social media sites after your breakup. Don't use your statuses or tweets as a means of revenge, or in an attempt to make someone jealous, or as a tool to hurt someone's feelings. This is not a place to make mean or slanderous comments about your ex. This is not a place to turn your relationship breakup into a soap opera. This might be a time to take a break from all social media platforms, a time to reconnect with yourself and your close friends and family. Consider it a me time. The other subject or point I would like to discuss in this episode is you. You are worthy. You are important. You have taken the time to listen to this episode of Breakup Recovery. You do want to move forward. You want to recover from your breakup. You want to feel happy, healthy, and you deserve all of these things. So I want you to make sure that you are putting yourself first. You are looking after yourself. You are making sure that your needs are being met. You are worthy of joy and pleasures. Give yourself time to get over your breakup. There is no right amount of time that it takes for a person to get over their breakup. Your timeline might be a lot longer than you expected or wanted it to be. So go with it. Look after yourself. Take care of your needs. Eat the right foods. Lessen the amount of alcohol. Exercise each day. Have some treats in your life. Have a massage or a facial. Don't beat yourself up about how you are feeling or worrying about what your future is going to look like. Stop asking yourself why. Let yourself grieve the loss of your relationship. Journal all your thoughts, meditate, find someone to talk to or work with. You are not alone. Take one day at a time. I hope you've got something special from this episode number 100. I loved receiving your questions, and I hope that some of your problems and issues have been answered here. Because this was my 100th episode, I wanted to do something a bit different than interviewing other experts on breaking up, divorce and separations. And even though it was a solo episode, I wanted to involve you, the listeners, and answer any pressing questions you might have or I haven't already answered in a previous episode. So I hope I have achieved that. This episode might have sparked a question or a query or a better understanding of your thought process, how you think and the sort of things you actually tell yourself. I would like to give a shout out to those wonderful and kind people that have taken the time to leave a review about Breakup Recovery podcast on iTunes. I love receiving these and I'm humbled at the encouraging comments and grateful that you find this podcast helpful in some way. In previous podcasts I've read a review, so I'm going to continue with this today. As a recently divorced father of two who was done wrong by the system, I found it off-putting that your podcast and most other divorce help podcasts seem like it centered around women. Men have a hard time with divorce as well. We are thrust aside, kept away from our children, and even if we were the primary caregiver with no history of abuse or neglect and endured painful scrutiny, as most people see divorce as being his fault, we need a little TLC too. I do admit when I first started this podcast 18 months ago and my business as a breakup recovery mentor, the focus was on helping women through their breakups. But now as time has gone on, I've received more and more requests for help from men, and I have in fact had a few male clients. I am consciously trying to shift the focus on helping women-only content to encompassing all people that are going through a breakup. So thank you for your review, and I hope that you can take something from all of the episodes of Breakup Recovery, and I wish you well on your journey. If you would like to leave a review, I would be most thankful, and you can do this on iTunes. I'll share more reviews when I next do a solo episode of Breakup Recovery podcast. On another note, if you know someone else who is going through a breakup and struggling, and you think this podcast could help him or her, I hope you will tell them about Breakup Recovery podcast and share the links. Thank you for listening, and the last thing I'd like to say is, be gentle on yourself. You deserve happiness.
If you would like to hear previous Breakup Recovery podcasts, visit barbarastevens.com.au. Connect with Barbara Stevens on social media with Barbara Stevens Breakup Recovery Mentor on Facebook and at You'll Be Okay on Twitter. Read further blogs, view webinar replays, and download your free ebook, 3 Easy Steps to Surviving Your Breakup, and much more at barbarastevens.com.au.